Hey, it's Dave from Bullpen Cycles, and well, we're finishing up on this Rickman. I'm going to tell you a little about that since I learned something that I ought to share. But then we're going to pick out our next project, and I'm thinking it's about time we start working on the Wankels again. So come on, you can help me pick it out. So before we get started, I made a mistake. I started a new feature and then I forgot it. So we have our prize giveaway that I forgot to do on our last video. And the person that reminded me is our prize winner this week. It says, I Banimus. I don't know what that means. He wrote, hello, disembodied voice of Dave. Well, yeah, that's because I had to do that creepy voiceover because my GoPro broke, and I'm going to be replacing that with something different. He says, hello, disembodied voice of Dave. Did you forget something? Well, I did. Who was the t-shirt winner? Then he went on to say, you must admire the hardcore collector who brings out his pride and joy during the monsoon rain that was the Glenn Curtis show. So you're our winner this week. And remember, I don't always give out t-shirts. I said I can't afford to do t-shirts, everyone, but I'm going to do a t-shirt this time. This week's t-shirt, though, is... Now, these are cool. This was actually a place. This Mako dealer, Allentown, Montesa, Mako. They were big in the 70s before they got bought out by Blackman's Suzuki. So I have these in large and extra large. And if you are Banimus, send me your address and what size you want. But that doesn't square us. I have to give out the prize for today's video. That was last week's video. So today's video, it goes to, this is Pook A97 or Puka97, who wrote Bullpen Cycles, 2 Vintage, and Bearded Mechanic. Am I missed anything else? That's what he wrote, but hey. So what he's saying here is these are channels he likes. And, well, those channels are much bigger than me, so I'm glad that he puts me in that company. But what I really want is, I want you all to answer that, because I'm always looking for other motorcycle channels to watch. I watch Bare Bones MC, sometimes I watch The Bearded Gump, I watch Dork in the Road sometimes, but I'm not nuts about product promotions now that he does that. And I'm not all about camping. But his are good. And who else do I watch? Sometimes I watch Kaplan Motors. But yeah, share the other channels you watch, and that'll give me something to look at too. Hey, I look at it also. So that prize goes to Puka97. So you win. Actually, what we're going to do this time is, and I hope you're not too bummed it's not a t-shirt, but since we're starting out a Hercules series, this Hercules pin. This is from Domney Racer. That was a big deal out in Ohio, and I'll throw in a couple of Bullpen Cycle stickers. These aren't available anywhere else. I had them made just for here. You can't get them from our partner unless I decide to send him some. So that's an exclusive. This is send me your address and your name to my email, either dave@bullpencycles.com or bullpencycles@gmail.com works too. So that's it. Now back on to the show. Do you remember this Rickman Matisse? I bought this at, I think it was Wasion. And well, I learned a few things. I had intended to put a desert tank on it and run it as a dual sport, but it's a Mark IV. And let me show you something about Mark IVs. I'm thinking, if you decide you want a Rickman Triumph Matisse, you're better off looking for a Mark III. Here's why. Here is a new old stock Rickman Desert Scrambler tank. It's got extra fuel capacity because the standard capacity on a Rickman, well, I never measured it, but I think it's only about 1.5 gallons. And that doesn't get you very far if you're riding dual sport and you're in the middle of nowhere. So my thought was, put the desert style tank on this bike and return it to its original blue. But I was foiled. And what I didn't know, the dead giveaway, is the oil filler down here instead of up here. And this does not fit. Well, it looks like it should, but it won't mount. And the seats won't line up. So you need a Mark IV tank. Mark IV tank will be notched out here. It's a little different underneath, and you can get it to line up here. Boy, that almost works, huh? But not quite. Problem is, I can't find an oversized Mark IV tank. And I tell you what, I can't really find much by the way of Mark IV reproduction glass in the United States. I found a Mark IV tank in the UK. I was hoping aluminum, but aluminum, well, I have to have that custom made, and that'll set me back $1,500 US. I'm not going to do that. The other problem I encountered was the exhaust. Now, I thought this was stock exhaust, but it's not. It's homemade exhaust, and it's in multiple pieces because there's not enough room to feed it in and out of there. And this is a B50 pipe, so I'm guessing this is a B50 frame because of that extra tab. I think the Triumph frame and the BSA frames were the same, just different engine mounts, except for that exhaust tab. So I have to try to find Mark IV exhaust. I haven't been able to find that either. But I did find this. In fact, I think I like this better. This is Bud Eakins style exhaust. Bud Eakins, the stuntman for Steve McQueen. One up each side, knocked in so you can stand on your pegs without burning your leg. That's going to set this bike up. I'm sending the original glass out to get repainted. I had the tank sealed. I'll put this back on the shelf and continue searching for a Mark IV tank. So if you're dealing with Rickmans, at least Triumph Rickmans, it's a whole lot easier to start with a Mark III. You Rickman guys, let me know your comments. And now we're gonna go outside. Have to show you our next project bike. We have to pick one. Okay, so follow me. I have to show you something. It's out here. Still a little gimpy. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 Hercules Wankel. Wankels, Wankai, Wankies, Wankers. Anyway, we're gonna pick one out, and there's actually a couple more in the other building, and try to resurrect it. So I'm a little late for the biker build off, but man, Sean, if you would have called me, I could have got you an awesome, cool, inexpensive European project bike, and you could have beaten OCC choppers. But you know, the few times I tried to reach you, I'm just a small guy. You missed out on our crated bike. So let me show you a couple of things about Hercules Wankels. They made two types. Now this is an oil injected one, because that's the oil tank, and that is a fill spout which would go up through the gas tank. And that non-oil injection, non-oil injection, non-oil injection. The oil injected ones are much more rare. They only made about 400 of them. Non-oil injection. And they have CV Bing carburetors, just like the BMW. Now here's an oil injected one, and I can tell because it's the color. I think all the non-oil injected one are red like this. These blue ones are oil injected. There's the oil fill tank. There's a non-oil injected one. This black one is oil injected, and this is 5001. That is the first Hercules off the line with oil injection. 001. Here's another one. This is unique because I don't know if you can see that in there. Someone put, I think it's a Tillotson snowmobile carburetor on it. I don't know why. Another oil injected one. So we have 1, 2, 3 oil injected ones, and all the rest are premix. And gee, they all look to be about the same as far as a starting point. That one has no carburetor at all. I have all that stuff. So let me show you what's inside. Then we'll go over the other building and I'll pick one out. So if we look back here, here's the crate motor. Looks like engine case covers, exhaust, some of it new old stock, hubs, transmissions, luggage racks, front discs. I only have a couple of those. Those are rare. Brake parts, lighting, new old stock muffler parts, shocks, speedos, horns, pegs, forks, seats, fenders. Up there, those are all gas tanks, mostly used. I think they're all used. Bolts. I think I have most everything I need. So why don't we do one of those? Well, that's the plan. Okay, so This is the one we picked. This was actually in our overflow building. And I'm gonna see if I can get it cleaned up and inside before it gets dark. Now check it out. It's got some kind of coating on it. I think that'll clean up. This is the old style bracket for the kickstand, and they always break. That's probably why the kickstand is off. These are wrong. Missing the headlight glass, which I have. This should be BMW like the back. Very complete looking bike, showing 3,800 miles. Got the switch gear. Now this is very similar to what's in Italian two-stroke Harleys, but the Harley doesn't have the start button. I think it matches up also to some Ducatis. CEV taillight is available. That's on a lot of Moto Guzzies. I don't know why they have the brake like that. It's all there. Let's get it clean and get it inside so we can have a better look. Gotta wrap up my fake foot so I don't get it wet. Try that. I'm using Suzuki's bike cleaner. Remember, I don't get paid for this, but I happen to like that the best. I don't know how much better that looks. These premix tanks, I bet you it looks like crap inside. Oh, I've seen worse. That's actually pretty good. Now these seats come up unusually. There's usually a latch under here. This flips up. All very normal. Well, next couple days we'll finish up the Rickman. We'll get that on the lift and we'll start tearing it down.